I definitely have felt it more than once when I personally play, and I've definitely felt it over and over and over again watching not only the best of the best series, but the fight nights on Fridays and any other gameplay from streams that I've been able to watch. It's just been high-end gameplay left and right as we see a couple candidates landing fairly close to each other here.
Yeah, Badoki coming in behind Krovax and watching him to see exactly where he lands. Krovax gets the advantage of landing on top of the supply box, but because he was chasing after Krovax, Badoki is forced to walk for a long ways until he can get his first bit of loot. Krovax not able to take advantage of that as he's focused on his own looting, but that's just a small... those are the kinds of decisions that can rack up in the long to cost you the game at the end.
The game within the game, as me and Ghost were talking about at the end of the last, the first game there.
Yeah, and something I would like to touch on real quick. Hopefully there's not too much stuff going on. But Mr. K, you mentioned too about learning. I hope that going forward too, if people are watching or even just interested in the game in general, that they get involved in these tournaments, even if you feel like maybe the level's too high or the competition's too fierce. Just getting into a situation or a tournament like this and just trying your best, you can learn a lot. And if you're interested even in just improving a little bit, just getting involved and joining things like this is going to go a long way.
Yeah, experience is definitely one of the best ways to learn things. Growing up...
It's really the only way to be able to apply the knowledge at the end.
Exactly, and growing up, I had this music instructor that said that practice doesn't make perfect; it makes permanent. And I've always took that to heart because, you could practice something wrong. Oh, as we see, Badoki take down Krovax with the arrow snipe. Is that what that was?
No, he was up on the roof there. He
Okay.
had finished looting and he climbed up to the roof there. And while Krovax was hiding around this pipe, taking the farm, completely caught off guard as Badoki lasered him with the Inferno from, what is that, 75, 80 meters up to there? Not an easy shot by any stretch of the imagination. Badoki on these Infernos is extremely deadly.
Let's ride.
But the point I was trying to make is that if you say, "Oh, I'm not good enough," and you're gonna practice it, in your private lobbies all by yourself and all that stuff, you're gonna get better at the game, but you're gonna plateau because you're not gonna be in this high-end competitive atmosphere because this is different than just a regular game. And being able to hop into something like this, you're gonna get that first-hand experience. And you're gonna learn the difference between doing it the permanent way, the way that people say this is the strong meta way, or the perfect way where you're going to learn how to not only be the best on the class that you're on, but you're going to be able to take those class skills, apply them to the situational awareness that is needed in not only Battle Royales, but Final Fantasy VII, The First Soldier. And, it's all of those put together. So if you're not hopping in and getting the experience from these, you're not going to be able to hit that top level, high-end gameplay.
It's funny that you mentioned about being able to take lessons to other battle royales. Is most of the studying I've done and most of the learning I've done to improve in First Soldier in particular has not come from watching First Soldier players.
Let's ride.
It's come from watching a coach for Apex Legends who puts out lots of tutorial videos and points out little mistakes and little practices that you can do to improve your game and your decision making in particular.
Oh yeah.
Okay. One lesson in particular I want to highlight that he taught me that I have adapted to my own and to my own playstyle is even if you're going into practice, don't just play the game willy-nilly. If you're trying to practice a specific thing in a game, then practice that thing in the game. Like if you want to practice sniping from a distance, get yourself in a position where you can practice sniping from a distance. If you want to practice throwing spells at people, get yourself into situations and focus only on throwing spells at people. Run out of mana, retreat, and come back and find another fight again. Anyways, while I was rambling on about that, Badoki had a very clean kill chasing Maniaki's around with that Inferno.
I mentioned it, very early prediction on meta. I said at the beginning of the Dragoon, I said it is going to be guns in bio, and we are seeing it left and right. And this is the second night in a row. I said it last night. Cosmo was running double Inferno, and now Badoki here is running the same thing. It is all about the clip size. The up damage is definitely nice, but I'm telling you the added clip where you can have longer drawn out fights compared to your opponent
Chocobo.
is definitely
Let's
a key
speed things
to the lethal. I'm not the lethal. The Inferno's
Monsters.
dominance here in these matches.
And not only that, but it does so much damage per bullet as well. Even if you only land a couple of shots out of the entire clip, that still racks up on top of all the other things that sorcerers can do as well.
We still also just have to keep in mind, it's not always the size of the clip, but how you use it.
Exactly.
And sorry, I needed to put a little ghost flare in there for you.
No, that's what we needed. I wish you had been adding more Ghost Flare the entire time.
That's why we have you here.
Color commentary.
Yep.
Exactly. Nymeria and Vidoke are chasing each other around at Grunt Theft Chocobo at the moment. The Mako closing in and threatening the pair of them. Vidoke hops off of that Inferno and lights Nymeria's Chocobo up, not managing to take it down, however. Nymeria retreats up to the highway through the teleporter. A very smart play to break line of sight right there.
Okay, is gonna follow.
Takes a second through, but Vidoke does follow through, allowing Nymeria that precious time to cross over the wall and dividing the two fleets. Ninja Bahamut is a name I don't recognize in Best of the Best either, so it's welcome to see a new face join us.
I believe that is someone that I pulled in from Facebook in between games.
Oh,
He's been messaging. We've been comment chasing each other all morning, back and forth. Saying, oh, here the match is up, and oh, IRL stuff came up, and oh, the match is up, oh, IRL stuff came up. So we eventually made it work. So.
Well, he has begun his first encounter as he has gotten to a dominant position, watching Nymeria and Vidoke chase each other nearby. Opening up with the Wrath and the Shinra type the assault rifle, landing a couple of nice damage on couple nice shots on Vidoke there, who returns fire with an Inferno, forcing Ninja Bahamut to make a mistake and unfortunately fall down the building, letting his bird be sacrificed in the process. He hides behind the supply box for help. In the meantime, Nymeria has snuck away.
Let's speed things up.
Opted to go do her own thing and get a little bit more loot for her name.
As Vidoke is pushing up now.
Now.
He is indeed pushing up. A fireball going wide, but Ninja Bahamut's own is doing some nice damage. Pulling around, falling down the building to avoid the return shot from Vidoke. Very nice job forcing out a high potion from Vidoke right there. Even if that's all those... You can look at a fight as not just one long fight from start of the fight to the end when somebody dies. You can look at each of these engagements as little mini victories. Like right there, Ninja Bahamut took a little mini win by forcing Vidoke to use a high potion when he might not have wanted to.
You know, I'm someone that tends to do this. I mean, you hear me say high end a lot. I tend to, if I catch on to something, and we talked about it earlier, and it's the games within the games, and it's those little wins. You know, that could be the momentum you need to continue on to get into the final phases, or if you lose a little matchup like that, it might set you off on a little bit of a tilt, and you might not get into the final phases. It's those little tiny moments and those situations that are gonna, that, you know, separate the top end competitors from the middle tier and the lower tier. As we see, Vidoke hit some really nice shots on that Chocobo that going by, and on OG himself.
Yeah, OG taking massive damage from that Inferno. Sometimes it's just the little victories even just count to not dying when you come to an engagement. Ninja Bahamut felt that he was outclassed a little bit in that engagement and found a way to pull space back and keep himself safe, buying himself a lot of time for other candidates to show up, and that's exactly what's happened here. As Vidoke turns into that OG. Ninja Bahamut is not able to take advantage of this brief distraction, though, and that is the difference between capitalizing on diversion of attention and using another candidate to let yourself hide against somebody. Like he's perfectly known. His position is perfectly known to Vidoke. He knows he's inside this building beneath him. But Ninja Bahamut is not able to use the distraction brought to him by somebody else to his advantage, and unfortunately goes down to Vidoke as the zone starts pushing his way in and gets scared away.
I wish I had changed to Vidoke's view for you guys, because being able to see that Inferno's just stay in a straight laser and just hit all of those shots is so fun to watch.
That must be scary to watch.
It started out as a hip fire and went down aim down scope, and it was all hits.
Let's speed things up.
That's the thing too with the Inferno, which I kind of like, is the recoil is not that bad. It's easy to control.
I know. I mentioned it to you a couple weeks ago, and you've been running it since, and it's
Yep.
definitely you see the difference now. Now you're seeing it. Why it was such a good thing for me is as someone who couldn't hit shot, like wasn't good at hitting shots before, and I'm better now because I've been using the Inferno. Having the bigger clip is an advantage for me because I have, if I miss shots, it can continue on. The reason it's working in these high-end lobbies is because I'm missing shots because I'm not as good. These candidates are missing shots because these other candidates are better at dodging. And that means that they have to be better with their ammo and their resources. And the higher clip is making it work out for them.
Definitely, and they're very practiced
speed
with their
things
weapon
up.
choice as well, whether that's the Inferno or the Wrath or my personal favorite, the Combat Rifle.
See, that's
Whichever gun you focus on using, you definitely have to try.
See Budoke get in close to Edu with the return Thunder. That Kurg. Oh! I was going to say that cured both of them, and then the Fireball takes down the Bird and Edu. As Nymeria takes down Pink Teddy somewhere else on the map.
Yes, he got a very nice snipe. Very nice snipe as Pink Teddy was attempting to farm next to a Choco
Now
shot.
that was actually OG who hit that shot, and Sophie
OG.
got Sophie got the cleanup, and OG's still got his sights on Nymeria now on top of a building.
Oh yeah, I see that. Nymeria, I think, has spotted him out though, as she's hiding behind that car as the Mako presses her way in. One shot miss. Two shots miss. Nymeria not able to grab her Chocobo. Not too much longer when Nymeria is going to be able to return fire on OG. Isn't so on the run away from Mako. As Laurel provides a distraction before then though, sneaking up on OG from nearby on a rooftop. One Thunder going behind Laurel, unfortunately not able to force him off from doing any more damage to OG. Here, topping OG off to the top again, but that Mako is still pressing in ever closer. They're forced to rethink their location of battle, and a fireball from Laurel passes just over OG's head.
That would have been a beautiful fireball if that one hit.
Beautiful.
Off the arrow.
Simultaneous ramp. That was satisfying. Very nice Blizzard doing huge damage to OG as the Return Thunder around the corner of the wall returns that damage quotient. A couple of fires going wide on both sides as they here top OG back off. Arrow takes the Laurel up to safety. He does not have the gear like OG does to be able to keep himself healed up. OG taking some huge damage from some gunfires nearby as Vidoke takes down Laurel while OG is hiding around the other side of this wall. Nymeria on the building nearby, trying to see if he can get a line of sight on somebody. Able to get a line of sight onto OG, who is tossing fireballs up at Vidoke, not managing to land any of them, unfortunately, but getting dangerously close.
Trance was running out, was just trying to run off as many fireballs as possible as Budoke pushes down now.
Why not? OG summons his Chocobo and gives it straight to Vidoke, who decides to betray his master. That was rather an unfortunate circumstances. Vidoke immediately kills that Chocobo.
Now we see Nymeria deciding whether or not they want to take this fight.
Yes. Well, in the meantime, Vidoke is sure about it. Open
heal.
fire, and OG is retreating into the building. That Inferno has got some crazy deadly accuracy within Vidoke's hands. So we can see some shots forcing Nymeria to take cover behind the box as well. And they're going to have to go quite a long way still to get to the final zone, so we're going to see a lot of rotating around. Vidoke in a dominant position as Nymeria and OG are forced to work their way into him. Taking the time to reload both of his Inferno, so he's got 70 bullets back in commission, 90 bullets back in commission once more. OG and Vidoke taking sight at each other once more as OG misses a snipe, unfortunately. That rapid circling makes it very hard to be able to hit any single fire shot like that. Nymeria pushes her way up from the street, landing a beautiful fire on OG.
Wow.
And Vidoke finishes off the kill with the Inferno, turning his sights onto Nymeria. Immediately afterwards, she dropped to about 60% health on top of her trance. Here, Firaga takes it back up to full health, trying to suppress it down with the fire. The Thunder is not getting nearly close enough.
Oh, nice.
Time with the Inferno shoots her down.
How do you stop the double Inferno?